What up, it's Dane here. In this video I'm going to be telling you how to get shredded. So by the end of the video you'll be able to get shredded without any cardio and starving yourself. Number one is eat shit ton of protein, whole foods and especially vegetables. Number two, cut out high energy density and palatable foods like pizza. And number three, do not drink any calories whatsoever, like coffee, put sugar in that shit, do not do any of that. And number four is walk a shit ton. And number five, eat in a calorie deficit. And for a little bonus one, give up instant gratification. So now you know all the biggest 5 tips that I give you to get shredded. Let me begin to explain why. So the reason you want to eat a shit ton of protein, a lot of vegetables and a lot of whole foods is this. Eating bland foods and foods that provide a lot of satiety, like potatoes, sweet potatoes, chicken, you know, the old bro foods, they all send a signal to the brainstem which makes you feel very full, right? So this is why I said at the start of the video, you can diet without starving yourself. And protein also spikes insulin just like carbohydrate, and protein does provide a lot of satiety, and that insulin response is correlated with protein. Now the reason you should be having vegetables like your mum always told you when you was a kid is because you want to volumize your meals, especially when you get to low levels of body fat. You start getting hungrier because your leptin levels are dropping, sending a signal to your brain that you want to consume more food, and obviously then your body's gonna drop its energy levels. But that's another video altogether. Just add more vegetables, volumize your food, make you feel fuller. Now you want to cut out high palatable foods and energy density foods. By energy density foods, I'm talking like pizza and stuff like this. Basically, the calories it provides compared to the unit amount. For example, a whole bowl of broccoli is very low in energy density compared to a peanut butter cup, a candy bar, something like this is very high energy density compared to its unit calorie, and it also doesn't provide a lot of satiety. Now another reason why you want to cut out palatable foods like pizza, all the junk food that we all like in order to get shredded. I know this is an obvious one, but here's the why. The reason being is because if you consume palatable foods, it actually overrides your eating mechanisms. Meaning you've probably been at a restaurant, probably had a nice meal, then someone asked you, do you want a dessert? They said no. Someone else on a table asked for dessert, you saw that. Now that you saw it, your brain, coming from an evolutionary standpoint, automatically wants to eat it. It's motivated to eat it because of the food reward it provides. So there you go, it will override your eating mechanisms. And the obvious one, do not drink your calories. Obviously, you just want to eat as much as possible. In fact, I even advise some people don't even drink protein shakes because you just want to eat. Get a lot of satiety going. But anyway, that's it. Do not drink any calories like milkshakes, coffees, all this kind of shit. And getting back to number 4 about walking. Now you probably think, okay, like walking is so simple, right? But here's the thing. When you get to low levels of body fat, let's say shredded 7% body fat, here's what happens. Your leptin levels drop, and leptin is hormone in your fat cells, is a body weight regulator. When this drops, it sends a signal to your brain that you get hungry and that your body gets tired. And when your body gets tired, the last thing you want to do is jump on a treadmill and do some sprints. Hence why you want to walk, because the walking will offset the NEAT, which is non-exercise activity thermogenesis. This is basically just moving around daily activity, stuff like this. You will become very sluggish, therefore you need to offset it with a shit ton of walking. And number 5, eat in a calorie deficit. Like we all know, you can eat any food you like as long as you eat in a calorie deficit. However, it is just a lot easier to eat whole foods that provide a lot of satiety. And that being said, there is no special diet, intermittent fasting, ketogenic diet, all these kind of diets, it does the exact same thing when it comes to aesthetics. And lastly, instant gratification. You need to understand that in order to get shredded, it's going to take a long time, depending on your body fat percentage. If you're already like say 10% body fat, okay, it might not take you so long, maybe 4 weeks. If you 30% body fat, 20% body fat, it could take you a lot longer. Also, just keep in mind this depends on your calorie deficit as well. Obviously, the bigger the deficit, the bigger the fat loss, and the smaller, the lower the fat loss, or the slower the fat loss. However, You need to have a small deficit to minimize muscle gain in most cases, especially if your protein intake is real low. Okay, so if I had to pick maybe 1 or 2 out of that list that you should really be focusing on, it would be this. Have a high protein intake, maybe about 1.2 grams per pound of body weight. Although this is excessive and you do not actually need such a high protein intake, it does provide a lot of satiety. And also add a lot of vegetables. Now the second one that I didn't actually mention, however it does come into the high energy density and palatable foods, is remove all these junk foods and stuff like this out your sight, right? It shouldn't even be in a house, never mind in your sight. The reason being, like I said, it overrides the eating mechanisms. Every time you see it, like you see peanut butter or something like this, a candy bar on a table, your ghrelin levels will increase, which is a hormone in your stomach, and every time you see it, your hunger levels increase. So keep that in mind. Oh, my ears are going all wheezy. Oh, not shredded enough. So anyway, that's how to get shredded for someone without doing a shit ton of cardio, without starving yourself. But just keep in mind, when you get to really low levels of body fat, your leptin levels drop and you will start getting hungrier and hungrier. But whole foods, vegetables, there you go. Stay positive, stay smiling. Make sure to leave a comment down below if you enjoyed this video. Share it with your friends, just so people can be helped, man. Don't be selfish. Stay positive, stay smiling, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.